And we back. We are back. We are back. We are back again. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I appreciate everyone for being here tonight on a Sunday evening. And I'm going to say that again, a Sunday evening. So, for those y'all that's in the building that is new, again, I'm seeing some people continuing to subscribe. So, big shout out to y'all. So, since there are some new people here, I'm going to yet again repeat. This here is called the Let's Build live stream. Now, some of y'all may have known about this stuff from the Demon Infused live stream. So tonight is about building. We ain't about the effery. So unlike last night, I'm gonna be a little bit more stricter on just focusing on the build because last night was about the fuck shit. Tonight is about the building. So again, on Saturdays, it's the F shit. On the holy day, Sunday, we about building. So thought I'd just point that out for the new people watching here. Give a shout out to the people right here real quick. Got Money to Burn, what's going on? Living life to the fullest, what's going on? And we got Sexy Toy Lady, what's going on? And what up to everybody that's in the clouds. So tonight's show, we are going to be focusing on when is it okay to have non-blacks in black spaces. Now, this is something that has been a thing for some time in this particular sector, but it really hasn't been that prevalent. But I do see it also prevalent, though, in other black sectors here. And I thought it would be a good conversation to have here. And I believe one of the first things, though, when we talk about this conversation, we need to talk about what's considered black. Now, there are many people that have different type of scenarios and different type of requirements where the case is on what it is to be black. Now, me personally, I want to keep it as simple as possible. I want to keep it as simple as possible with me. Other people look at certain features and the DNA and all that other stuff. But to me, I want to keep it very simple. So for me, what can be considered black is simply at least one of your parents being black. Now, one of those things that may come up is what if you're biracial? What if you're mixed? Now, again, I want to keep it simple when it comes to the parents that may be biracial. Okay. Well, was one of your grandparents black? Is at least one of them black? And if that's the case, then to me, you are considered black. Now, there's another requirement, though, and this is really up to the person. And that's simply, do you identify as black? Now, I want to make this very clear. Obviously, I'm not a biracial person, so I can't relate to any biracial person. However, though, what I've noticed in my 34 years of life, a lot of biracial people identify as black, and a lot of them has no issue of saying, look, I'm black. Now, sure, can they express the other side of it? Yes. But a lot of people, even in the sector alone, who are biracial, they don't have an issue saying, look, I'm black. Slander Guy, for example, he's biracial. He ain't got no issue saying that he's black. Breaking the Culture of Silence, who's somewhat in the sector, has no issue saying, look, I'm a black woman. Now, there's some people, and I think a lot of y'all know who I'm referring to, can only say, look, I'm biracial. And on top of that, when we ask this particular person, well, what are you mixed with? This person has a hard time just saying it. So therefore, in my opinion, that particular person isn't black because he doesn't want to identify as black. We ask him, he has a hard time doing it. And therefore, to me, you are not black. That's just me. That's just my perspective. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all. Y'all don't have to follow what I say. That's just my personal opinion, much like a lot of other people have their requirements on what's being black. Now, with all that being said, I do want to talk about some positives and negatives, though, about non-blacks in a black space real quickly, just to keep a balance before I drop the link. And one of the positives, okay, one of the positives of allowing non-blacks in the black space is that they offer a different type of perspective. Now, sometimes, and not just black spaces, but in a lot of spaces, there can be an echo chamber. And sometimes it is good to have a different perspective on things. So, in that way, that is a positive. And trust me, I'll get to the negative soon, but just give me a second. Another positive, and I pretty much only came up with two positives to be completely honest, but the second positive is empathy. Now, this is only for the genuine non-blacks that are in black spaces. Okay. I want to make that clear. This is the positive side of it. There can be empathy, there can be understanding, trying to understand our viewpoints when we talk about certain situations. And sometimes we do need some empathy from other people. Now, that doesn't have to be from people outside of the community, but having any type of empathy from any type of person is always a positive thing. Now, let me just get to the negatives, and it's only three that I could come up with right off the top of my head. The first negative, probable ignorance. Clearly, probable ignorance. You would have certain people outside of the community coming to a black space and just saying a bunch of ignorant shit, not knowing pretty much what the fuck they're talking about, just a whole bunch of fucking babble and whatnot. And yes, that can really bring out a very, very damaging and uncomfortable situation for people that are black. So that's definitely a negative. Number two negative, picking the wrong battles. And I'm gonna kind of like compare this or have sort of analogy, even though I really don't like comparing race. I really don't like comparing race to other things, but let's just take gender for instance. So I'm a man, and if I see a whole bunch of women talking about, let's say, about sex life and about their vaginas or where the case is, for some odd reason, I butt in and I tried to, get into the conversation about that. It's like, why? You pretty much got to stay in your place. So, kind of like going back around with the race thing, we will see a lot of people outside of the community that's in our spaces and they will say a whole bunch of nonsense. And really, it's like, look, that is not the battle that you want to go with. So just stay out of it. And the number third one, and I think this is really like the biggest negative of all, comfortability. Being comfortable. There have been times, especially with me living in the South, where I would, or a group of my friends back in the day will allow certain people outside of the community hang with us. And sometimes people can get way too comfortable around us. And I think one of the biggest examples of being too comfortable is saying the N word. Now, I know there's certain people in the Northwest, Midwest has a different perspective about the N word, but here in the South, when someone who is not black says the N word, we gonna look at them real funny style. And one of the things that I learned, especially when I was in the pro wrestling sector, is that there have been certain situations in my 15 years in that space where I'd be hanging around certain white folks in particular, and sometimes I would slip up and say the N word around them, so they would have that interpretation of me saying the N word around them that would kind of give them the validation of saying the N word around me. And a lot of times I have to correct them, but after a while I have to say to myself, okay, look, I need to be self-aware on who I'm around with. And I think clearly there's been examples of that in this sector as well, so we can talk about that as well. But that to me, definitely, comfortability is definitely a negative here. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to go into a quick intermission, and I was really trying to get a different song here, but I didn't have time to. I had a lot of stuff going on today, but I will give you guys a quick little replay of last night's of the TMK video. A lot of y'all seem to like that a lot, dedicated to Tiff Griff, and it's called Crazy Bitch. So we're going to take a quick intermission, and I will give you guys my solution or my opinion on when is it okay for non-blacks to be in black spaces. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
I'm a bitch, you right, but I'm enjoying the fuckery. He said I'm a bitch. I don't know what is going on tonight.
Tiffany's not the bitch to fuck with.
Don't interrupt me while I'm speaking, and I won't interrupt you. We gonna be respectful if you want to stay on this panel. Bring it, bitch. Bring it. Tap the link and we can have a conversation. I'm confused. I don't understand for the life of me. Any woman let a man like Lennon pump 5 children in me, and I lay my ass up for years talking about I'm a spiritual wife. He was a no shit ass bum ass fool whose penis work enough to pump 5 kids to cover and mask his homosexuality. He's a joke, a serious joke. Wow. I want to criticize Dr. Johnson, but I just have a question for you. What are you building for black children? Since you have so much beef and so much smoke for what he doing, what exactly is it that you're doing for black children? Crazy. Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight. Wow. That bitch crazy. Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight. Wow. Bullshit, unfounded lie after lie.
You like to call me crazy, but you're aggravating me. Always on your bullshit, but turn around, you shading me. Acting like a demon till you're in front of a crowd. Then you grab your angel mask underneath you a clown. Wonder why when I emasculate you, now you a victim. Narcissistic Jezebel, nigga, get you a villain. Take the fuck away from around me if you wanna keep breathing. Or I'll turn the fuck up on you, make you crazy. See, you're supposed to be a king, but you act like a peasant. Supposed to be a man of honor, you're a regretful lesson. You're a toxic individual, but you call me crazy. Make me wanna run you over, but you ain't worth it, baby. I just wanna know what happened to you, cause you're insane. You can turn about the drama, you inflicting the pain. Is it that you hate women cause your mama was mean? You need to do some soul searching cause your spirit ain't clean.
That bitch crazy. Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight.
That bitch crazy. Crazy bitch.
Wow.
Crazy bitch.
That bitch crazy. Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight. Wow.
Crazy bitch.
Bullshit, unfounded lie after lie. We need to have a conversation about your broke bum ass boy Don. He wants you to risk your business, your livelihood, everything for him. And when you don't do it, he will just insult the hell out of you and call you every name in the book. He is trash. He is garbage with his bum, bitch, broke ass. Okay, so Joanne Taylor, you say you want a one-on-one with that ugly bitch, Tiffany, bitch. Bring your ass on this panel. He dropped the link. Your big fat bloated ass got something to say. If he do shovel snow, your big bloated sorry nasty ass got something to say. So what exactly can Dr. Johnson do for you to shut the fuck up and keeping his name in your mouth?
That bitch crazy.
Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight.
That bitch crazy. Crazy bitch.
Wow.
Crazy bitch.
That bitch crazy. Come on, bitches. Man, they coming for me tonight. Wow.
Crazy bitch.
Bullshit, unfounded lie after lie.
All right, we back, and I saw some other people coming into the building as I was talking. Just want to give a quick shout out to Brad T, Teresa, Vici, Carrie Anne's in the building, Knowledge TV. I believe that's everybody there. All right, so what I'm about to do, I'm about to quickly talk about when I think non-black should be in black spaces, and then I'll drop the link for anybody that wants to weigh in their 2 cents on this. So for me, I think my solution is as little as possible. It's very, very hard for me to say don't allow them at all, because I do think, again, there can be some positives to that, but just because there are positives, that doesn't really mean that we should give full reign for just anybody to come in and how much they do need to come in, because at the end of the day, it's still a black space. Now, again, if we look at other types of things besides race, like if we talk about, for example, with gender, as I was talking about earlier, I know there's certain women spaces that I know for me personally, I won't fit in and I won't add no value to it. And quite frankly, I would get asked, why are you interfering in that at all, period. And, like if you look at white spaces, I mean, clearly they're going to feel some type of way if we get into that. Same thing with the Hispanics, the Asians, all that other stuff. So I really don't see why we can't implement that the same way. But I do think one of the negatives is that we as black people, we are the most giving people out there. And sometimes we just allow it without really vetting anybody or where the case is, or at least having some type of caution to that, though. But that's just my perspective. It needs to be as little as possible. Now, when it comes to YouTube and to my channel, with these live streams, with the build and the demon panel, pretty much anybody is welcome in the chat. So, like I know there's certain people like the Vagodas, he be in my chat sometimes, and I just let him rock out in the chat. But when it comes to being on panels, look, bro, like I can't allow you on there. Now, there are certain other people, particularly in this sector, like Muslim, who I do allow. But what I notice about Muslim, like he kind of just falls back and really pretty much just picks his spots here. And not to really open up old wounds, but Muslim did had a controversial thing going on a few months back. But I think after people like me and others trying to talk to Muslim, I think he has a better understanding on where we're coming from. So that I do think is a good thing. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to go ahead and drop the link. I really don't feel like repeating that same song again, though, but I'm about to drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and add their 2 cents in, they can add their 2 cents in on this. If you guys have any thoughts or any type of suggestions, or maybe you disagree with what I said, where the case is. And plus, also, if you are considered a non-black, you can come up here and kind of put your 2 cents as well, but just tread lightly. Just letting you guys know that. But once I'm waiting on someone to come up, I'm gonna go ahead and just go over the chat. But if it turns out no one don't come up, that's cool too. It'll be a short night for me if that's the case, or probably not, unlike last night. But we'll see. Let's see what you guys are talking about. So Money to Burn says that the police will pull you out your car and beat that ass, you black. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. You get followed around the store, you're black. I mean, like, I would say most likely, yeah, but there are other types like the Hispanics and whatnot, but mostly it's for blacks. Definitely that. No whites allowed. That's Brad T. He says no whites allowed. Teresa said, are they in here? Or are you talking about I'm not sure what you was talking about. Or you probably said hi, but I didn't see me and mines or anybody in there here. I'm about to catch up, y'all. Hold on. I'm about to catch up. Because I know I get on other people for doing that. Yeah, there is a construction emoji. Non-black shit hit everybody. Shit, like, what, to be honest, I ain't trolling. I wouldn't be against that at all. Looks like someone's in the wrong chat. Who's that? Trying to figure who that is, Bottom. Walk you through it, a few good men. Please don't get the final say from me. Who are you talking about, Spottom? Most definitely, I still don't follow her sector as pure sisterhood and not messy at all. Dang, I think I skipped over a lot of stuff to see what the hell you guys are talking about. But those are just my thoughts, y'all. Again, I dropped a link if anybody wants to tap in. I'll probably give this maybe about 5 more minutes. If nobody wants to come up, and I'll go ahead and shut this down. No problem with me if that's going to be the case. Oh, Teresa. You know what? That kind of makes sense now because I was like, who is she talking about? What's going on, Carrie Anne?
What's up, LV?
Chilling.
I was listening to you. I really like this build show you do, and I do agree with the positives and negative aspects of, like, I just really like your approach to that whole thing. I want to say first. Secondly, I just want to bring up, like, yesterday, I've gotten into it with several different women in this sector, right? More or less, they got into it with me. Like, I got into it with Miss T Pre real quick, right? And I think it's interesting that yesterday, when a couple of women who are, I think, racially ambiguous were going back and forth at me, it came up more than once that they kept saying things about my hair and my hair being stinking and dirty. Scarlett, as a matter of fact, I think is a biracial, was in the chat, and she said that when I first cammed up, I looked dirty. And I want to point out that they dragged T Pre into that conversation and said that they thought her wig was dirty and smelly, right? These two racially ambiguous women. And I want to point out that, like, me and Miss T Pre got into it. Neither one of us never said anything about each other being dirty and smelly. Me and Brown Sugar Baby got into it. Like, us Black women get into it with each other, and it never comes up that we're dirty and smelly. And Scarlett, as a matter of fact, got in the chat and said that when I first cammed up, I looked dirty. And I don't have the video from when I first popped up on Photon's channel, but I do have a question for this non-Black about what looked dirty about me. My shirt was clean. My skin was clean. My face was clean. My eyes were clean. The only thing that was different was that my hair was nappy. And so I want to know why these racially ambiguous women feel like they could come up in Black spaces and drop all these racist tropes about me and Miss T Pre's hair, which, like I said, when these women have got into it with other racially ambiguous curly haired women, did they accuse them of stinking? Did they say that their hair was dirty? Because let the record show that Black women's hair smells good. It's white women who smell like wet dogs when they don't wash their hair every day because their scalp is full of sebums and oils. I don't stink. This is a racist trope. And a lot of these women who pass for Black, once they get checked for saying racist shit about Black women, they want to claim they Black when they've been saying they was biracial all before that. No, you a lie, bitch. I didn't look dirty. It was nothing that looked dirty about me. The only difference between then and now is that my hair was nappy. It was nothing dirty about me, bitch. You're a fucking liar.
Wow.
Pull up the picture and show me what looked dirty on me, you non-Black bitch. It's nothing dirty about me. So you think you could, because these niggas give you exoticals a pass, you think you could come up in Black spaces and disrespect Black women's hair. Because you think you better and cleaner than me. But you ain't never been that. You smell like the oppressor, bitch. No, you a lie. Pull up the picture and show me what looked dirty about me. Because like I said, it wasn't nothing dirty. How I look like I smell, what does that mean? My shirt was clean. My skin was clean. My face was clean. The only difference was my hair was nappy. And you show me where you told another racially ambiguous woman she looked dirty just because she was wearing her hair in its natural state. I know what the fuck you said, and I know what the fuck you meant, and I know what's emboldened you to think you could talk about Black women like that. But I don't study you, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. Bitch, what you mean pull it up? You know what you fucking said. You and Stargate was going back and forth about my hair looking dirty and my wig smelling bad and me smelling bad. You went in on my Black woman's hair over and over again. And now you're going to try to backpedal, which is fine, but everybody saw it. And I'll point out, you scary bitch, whenever you alone in the chat without 5 of your troll accounts agreeing with you, you act like you too big and bad. You too good to argue with a bitch like me. You get 5 or 6 trolls behind you, and suddenly you got time to roll with Carrie. You still never got one good roast off. Bitch, you're not funny. You're not a good writer. So what you got to do with your fucking ambiguous ass is talk about my black woman's hair. You got a problem with a black woman's hair when it's nappy. You got a problem with my weave, and you drag Miss T. Pre, the only truly dark-skinned woman, beautiful woman who is cammed up in this sector. And you tell me why, of all the different people, you chose to pull the other black woman that cams up around here and say that her hair looked like it stank. I don't know if it was you or one of the many troll accounts you was using to agree with yourself. But you sit here and lie. You sit here and lie if you want to. Everybody saw you repeatedly call me dirty. And bitch, you was a motherfucking lie.
So like let's kind of switch gears a little bit. You did say racially ambiguous. And just kind of tie this back around to the topic.
You a lie, bitch. Go ahead.
Yeah, like for the people out there that's new, that may not know what you mean by racially ambiguous, can you give a quick overview on what you mean by racially ambiguous?
Racially ambiguous means not clearly black, right? You look like you might have some black and some other ancestry. People, like you said, they look like they got black in them, but not black. That's what I mean. The type of bitches who think they could say black women's hair look like it stink. When, like I said, of all the beefs I got in the sector of women who are not racially ambiguous, none of them have ever said anything about me looking dirty. And if Scarlett didn't say herself, she was certainly co-signing and keying it and kept it kicking back and forth in the chat. Don't try to backpedal now, bitch, because you've been called out, bitch. You did. And now you want to say, you said I look dirty but not stinking? Bitch, what's the difference? So you want to split hairs now because you've been called out. When it ain't shit about me that stinks. I don't smell like wet dogs.
So when it comes to the racially ambiguous people, do you have a certain perception or a certain idea on when they should be allowed in black spaces, or is there a certain criteria of your certain position where they should be allowed in black spaces?
The reason why I like your approach is because it's reasonable. It's no black and white answer on that. It's not, you know, it's a come as it come. And like I said, it come with the comfortability where these non-black bitches think they can start showing up and telling non-ambiguous black women that they look dirty and stinky based off nothing. Because like I said, pull up the picture and show me what looked dirty about me, aside from the fact that I was wearing my natural crown. Show me what on me looked dirty. Because I know for a fact I wasn't dirty. So how I'm going to look like what I wasn't? How do I look like I hadn't showered? Did my shirt look dirty? What was it about me that looked unshowered, Scarlett? Because I was showered. So how I look unshowered when I was showered and clean? So you can act like that shit didn't have my hair when in the same conversation, you saying my hair looked dirty. And you saying it looked like I hadn't showered. So you could try to pretend like you wasn't taking a jab at my nappy hair all you want because you a cowardly bitch. You don't stand on your word. But you know what you said, and everybody saw you calling me dirty because my hair was nappy. What's the difference? Wait, why I look dirty then, but now you're not saying I look dirty now? What's the difference except for the fact my hair was washed? Because I shower every day. I wear clean clothes every day. So if it wasn't my hair, Scarlett, what looks so dirty about me, you non-black bitch? And see, that's what I'll say. It's these bitches getting these passes and thinking they could come around and disrespect the image of the black woman. And that's when shit has gone too far.
I feel you. Hey, what's going on, Ghost?
Hey, what's going on, LV?
Man, we chilling.
Hey, no, I just wanted to tell Carrie, man, like, I don't agree with you on a lot of shit. A lot of shit I don't agree with you on. But I said from the very beginning when you first cammed up, I said you definitely had natural beauty. Don't let people, knock, you know what I'm saying, try to, knock you off and try to hit your confidence or whatever. Like, I mean,
thank you. I appreciate that. No non-black bitch could make me feel no way about my natural hair and trying to pretend like her calling me dirty wasn't a shot at my hair. I know what the fuck that was. And if I was insecure about it, I wouldn't cam up natural. And it's wild because I was just about thinking about taking my weave out and going natural again. But these bitches really believe that I be changing my hairstyles based on some non-black bitch opinion of me.
Well, if you do, like, don't worry about what people got to say about you. I mean, you know.
No, it's not about me being worried about it. It's about this bitch feeling like she could come up in a black space and disrespect black women's hair because, like I said, why they drag T Pre into it? What do me and T Pre have in common?
I understand, but you know, at least you've camped up. We know what you look like. We seen your natural
I wouldn't
beauty,
let no racially ambiguous nigga come up here and call you dirty with no explanation. Because it's not just disrespecting you, it's disrespecting the image of the black man. And this non-black bitch who said I look dirty on this one day when I was wearing my natural hair, and she trying to act like. Go ahead.
Well, could you get a black man that same energy?
As far as what?
You just explained it. You said you wouldn't want any ambiguous non-black man disrespecting the image of a black man. So I'm gonna need you to do the same thing as a black woman.
When have I disrespected the image of the black man?
That's a different story for a different day.
And you're welcome to come on my panel and discuss it. I don't feel like I never disrespected black men. But what I'm saying is, even if it was a full-blooded black man, if he was going around targeting other black men to call them dirty, I most certainly would step up. And I've defended many black men in this sector. But y'all only hear, it's this narrative pushed about me. Just because I have criticisms of black men and I hold them accountable, I have never disrespected the image of the black man.
Well, I could kill one narrative. That the whole narrative about you not being naturally beautiful, that's not a narrative. You know, most of the real men in the sector know what you're working with. So I don't think that's anything you really got to worry about, sweetie.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, what I'm talking about is the matter of this non-black bitch thinking she could call a black woman dirty. And she did rope Miss T Pre into it. And that shit needs to be checked. And I'm checking her. You don't have the right to come up
LB, I'm a dip off. I'm a little busy. I just wanted to come in and
Thank you. I appreciate the love. And I'm gonna hop down too. I just wanted everybody to peep what this non-black bitch said about me and T Pre. And now she trying to claim it ain't have nothing to do with my hair when we all know the day she chose to say I look dirty. And that's all I got to say. Yeah, these non-blacks need to be on their best behavior and they need to be held accountable, not to be disrespecting the image of the black woman just because they got some watered down jeans and somebody told them they cleaner and better than me. Because that ain't never been the motherfucking case. Thanks for having me up.
All right, no problem.
Bitch, it's your ancestors who stink, not mine.
All right, so check the... All right, so there we had Carrie. She came up and she gave her opinions on the topic, and then it went to Scarlett, and she used Scarlett as an example as far as the racial ambiguous thing. And it's pretty much like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that has a lot of different criteria and viewpoints of looking at who is black and who is not. But that's Carrie's perspective here. That's the Carrie's perspective here, and Ghost came up here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link one more time. If anybody else has any thoughts on this topic, on when is it okay to have non-blacks in a black space, and I will go ahead and give it about 5 more minutes again. If nobody else does want to come up to add to this topic here, and we will shut it down. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the chat. For anybody here, I see some people came into the building, got Germ on the board. The Zone, you have asked me that question so many times, and I kept telling you over and over again on what my email is. But this is the last time you're going to ask me, sir. This is going to be the very last time you're going to ask me. If you keep asking me what my email is, I'm pretty much not going to answer because you ask me that question all the time. So here it is. It's right there. I'm neutral20@gmail.com. I don't know why you keep asking me that. And once I give you my email, you'll never email me and you come right back asking me the same shit, bro. Like, come on now. I'm way too old for that shit. But we saw Germ on the board was in the building. DJ Drama, Triggs TV was in there. Nursing Relationships. We'll see. We'll see about that. See about that. See, we got Carrie and Scarlett still going there in the chat, but it's all good though. You know, it's like I said, I ain't got no mods. Y'all go ahead and rock out. Go ahead, give about 4 more minutes. Nobody else doesn't want to come up, but yeah, man. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I do think it needs to be as little as possible from my viewpoint. Like I said, if you have at least one parent that is black, to me, you're considered black. Though, you know, if you don't identify yourself as black, or if you're scared to do it, and again, it's like I said, I'm not biracial. I can't relate to what y'all say, but from my experience, everybody, well, most biracial people I know don't have a problem saying, "Hey, I'm black." So that kind of just tells me something. Carrie says the actual black woman and the proud black man call me beautiful. It's not the sector's job to prop you up. Love yourself. See what else is going to be going on here. But pretty much as I'm winding time down here, I am definitely thinking about doing the whole the content creator thing. I guess you would say like a weekly update. And I've asked you guys in the community thing, and you guys are definitely wanting to that happen. And y'all did say y'all want to do that on a weekly basis. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to do a community post and ask you guys which days you guys wanted to be on. Now, obviously I can't do Friday because I'm already doing these live streams Saturday and Sunday. So I need Friday, and I at least need one of those 3-day weekends, like I'm not Lennon Honor, I got to have at least one of those days off. Shit. So Friday, my day off. But I will go ahead and leave room for one of the other days for you guys to decide what you guys want to do. See what Carrie talking about. Hey, what's going on, D? Me checking your non-black ass for calling me dirty. Y'all guys are wild out in the chat. It's always Scarlett and Carrie going at it. Narrative have no slide. Tried this months ago when I first clowned you about looking dirty. But that should be known up. As like I said, guys, you guys just coming in. I did drop the link. I'm going to be up here for the next couple of minutes, and I will go ahead and shut it down. Ain't no problem with me. It'll just be an early day, especially after last night. I was not expecting to be live for 7 hours. I was not expecting that, but hey, there's a lot of shit that was flowing, a lot of stuff that was going on, so I just kept it going. Oh, boy.
Yes,
what's going on, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what we talking about today, man?
So when's it okay for non-blacks to be in the black space? Your thoughts?
I think they should. Cause I would like to hear other people's opinion. Just about everything. You know what I mean? Me personally, like I said, I'm black and Puerto Rican all day, every day. You feel me?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I understand my black people and I understand my Hispanic people. But, we all here in one big old boat. You know what I mean? Either we got to deal with that person or we just don't have to deal with them, Just keep it pushing,
I feel you. What's going on, Dr. Rogue?
Hey, I wanted to comment about biracials, and I've noticed that many people, it's this rise of this identity. It's almost as weird as the Z or the other pronouns that are not she or him. Basically, if you're biracial, you have to look biracial. Now they just want to have carte blanche over everyone, that even if they have one white parent or an Asian parent, that they're biracial. I just don't think about Star Trek. It sounds weird, but if there's an alien, there needs to be a Klingon or Kardashian. There's just something that looks different, not a Vulcan. They just got pointy ears. That's what we have here, basically. Like, there are people that don't, that just, for example, Obama. I mean, he looks like one of us. You could have a scenario where a dark-skinned person marries a white person, and they could have a baby that is darker than someone who is completely a pure blood. So it just doesn't make any sense. And I notice it's always people that represent a huge extremity that have that interracial view, whether it's Cynthia G or Irritated Genie. So that's what I would say. And they even pressure people to identify as biracial. It's crazy, and it's diluting the black race. If you look full breed, then you are full breed. No disrespect.
Now, as far as what you said earlier, you said looking biracial. So what exactly is looking biracial? Are we talking about light skinned, or what exactly are we talking about?
A couple shades up from, I guess, maybe Lauren London, maybe just looking ambiguous. I mean, I could have pictures if I was near a computer, but I think we all know what a racial ambiguous person means, right? Now, there might be a male or female breakdown, but maybe Cory Booker, for example, maybe. But I think it's more easily you can easily see that within women, for example, or let's just say the opposite sex, and that has its own issues. But yeah, racially ambiguous when you see it.
Now, like with Mikey on the panel, he did say he is Black and Puerto Rican. Now,
facts. But I look both. You could say.
You do not look both, Mikey. You look like a nigga. You look like a nigga. You look like Aries Spears. I don't know where the hell you got both from, but the only reason why now the reason why I brought Mikey up is that for Dr. Rogue, now with Mikey, now he's, well, like, I guess you can consider that biracial in a sense, though there are people that say that Puerto Ricans are basically black. Now, what's your opinion on that thing when we're talking about a black person mating with someone that's not white?
Me or him?
Oh, you.
Oh, black person who's not white. I think the same characteristics involved, maybe just a little different. For example, you have Tiger Woods, for instance. I mean, he's basically no different than Barack Obama in looking black, obviously. Literally, they might have different other races, but they both look like any black person you would see at an all-black place like Atlanta or some towns in Texas,
Yeah, because my mom's just, she just fully black, but she's Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? She was raised in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? My pops was raised in Alabama.
Well, hold on, whoa. Wait a minute. So hold on. So your mom was raised in Puerto Rico, or did she have any type of Puerto Rican in her?
Nah, she was raised in Puerto Rico, and then she came over here. You know what I mean?
So
but she was dark. Feel me?
So your mom is black, but she was raised in Puerto Rico, and she met your dad that's black, and then they had you.
Yeah.
Then you can't really call yourself Puerto Rican then.
I don't know. All I know is my mom's was, like I said, my mom's, she was Puerto Rican. She's Puerto Rican, whatever. And my pops was raised in Alabama.
So I guess I am human first was on to it. Mikey full black, what he talking about? Because I was really wondering what the hell you was talking about. Mikey said you was Puerto Rican or half Puerto Rican.
I'm half Puerto Rican, half black.
You can't be half Puerto Rican.
And my kids,
Mikey.
they from
Mikey. Okay.
Yeah.
You said that your mom is full black, but she was raised
she looks
in
full,
Puerto Rico.
Like, she looks full black. You know what I mean? But
okay,
she speaks Spanish. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Oh, I just hello.
Oh, go ahead. Cause my brain about to explode.
Yeah, I just want to say this whole point of convincing people to identify as biracial, some people do, they might come off as Egyptians or Israelites in terms of their obsession with history and family lineages. But this ultimately comes from the white man in terms of, for example, there was this white nationalist on some Jerry Springer-ish show that he had 20% Black Native American blood, and they were like, "Oh, but this is where it comes. The obsession with lineage. It comes from protecting whiteness. I mean, we already have to agree with whites in terms of this whole identifying as a Crayola color, black or white, because Africans, they identify as the Anfuju tribe or the Shamingo tribe. You feel me? But so we have to see ourselves as colors, obviously. But I don't think we should dive into people's history or who their parents are, or even convince people to identify as another race, because that's stemming right from white people and protecting whiteness. We shouldn't go at it that hard. It's crazy.
Now as far as that go, I can agree to a certain extent that I don't think we should be delving that deep into somebody's history. However, though, like, it kind of goes back to what I said, and you know what? I might as well just mention his name, Al, for instance. Now, Al has said that he is biracial. However, though, when we ask him, "Hey, is your mom black or is your dad black?" he wouldn't answer. Now, everybody else who is biracial, they don't have no issue, well, as far as this sector goes, doesn't mind us saying it, but for some reason Al does it. So as black folks, that's going to raise our antennas up, because again, certain non-blacks that be in the black space, they can get a little bit too comfortable, and they can say some slick shit, and sometimes we can't let that slide. But with Al's case, he would keep saying, "Oh, I'm biracial, oh, I'm biracial," but he just have a hard time just identifying as black. So as far as what you're saying, Dr. Rogue, I can understand to a certain extent, but there has to be some type of vetting. Now, for me, I pretty much try to keep it simple, as in, okay, is your mom black or is your dad black? Now, some other people may go deeper into that, but for me, I pretty much try to keep it simple. So, but that's just my response to all that.
Okay, and some people have this gender notion about whether the mom is black or the dad is black. I can't even think about it to portray, but some say it's the mom or the dad that makes the blackness. I don't know. It's just that argument is just, I guess, pointless, really.
Right. So I see some other people in the chat, and a lot of people want to get to the bottom of this, Mikey. Because you're confusing all of us.
Yeah.
So okay, Mikey. So as far as your mom goes, are both of her parents, aka your grandparents, which would be your mom's parents, are they both black?
Okay, my mom's grandparent, my mother's mother and pops, they're Puerto Rican.
Okay, so
you feel me? And
wait a minute, whoa, wait a minute. So if both your parents are Puerto Rican,
no, my grandparents are my other grandparents are black. You feel me?
Okay, so as far as your mom's parents, you're saying your mom's parents are both Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make your mom Puerto Rican, not black.
Full.
So
I mean,
okay, so just to recap, both of your mom's parents are Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So that would make your mom Puerto Rican, not black.
Nah, Puerto Rican.
Okay, so all that talk saying that your mom is black. I mean, but anyways. Okay, so your mom's Puerto Rican. She came down to the States, met your dad from Alabama, that's black. Then they had you, so that will make you half Puerto Rican, half black. Right? Did Mikey drop out? Oh, shit. Like there's.
You can hear me?
Oh yeah.
I'm right here.
Wow, like kind of like way too low.
You can hear me good now?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess we got that taken care of, chat. But there's people in the chat saying you lying, Mikey.
Nah, yo, shit. Nah. I'm half, half and half, like iced tea, half and half.
Half and half.
You gotta have the half and half, you know. I mean, for real on that shit. And my kids is half Guatemalan.
Half Guatemala.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? Like, I don't think I'm gonna really delve deep into that one because just trying to understand your background, man. We were struggling with that one for a little bit.
Nah. But I'm full half black and half Puerto Rican. You feel me? My mom's just from Puerto Rico and my pops is from the Alabama South. You know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as you go, Mikey, since we now established that you're half black and half Puerto Rican, so when it comes to somebody asking you just flat out, like, hey Mikey, are either one of your parents black? Like, you're as far as you answering that, you don't have no problem answering that, right? Like, no problem.
Nah. Some people think I'm Dominican. I ain't gonna I'm not gonna hold you on that. I said, yo, I'm not no Dominican. So, stop calling me that. You know what I mean? That I kind of take to offense.
Now, like, now, like, as far as that goes, Mikey, could you explain why would you answer that? Like, just with no problem? Because again, we got some biracial people who seem to have a hard.
I love all race people, but how some people they try to make you this like, yo, you Dominican. I ain't got no offense for Dominicans. You know what I mean? They cool, but don't call me something if you know I'm not that person. You know what I mean? You know, if I'm telling you I'm half, you know what I mean? Don't try to say a nigga look like he's Dominican and all that.
Now,
I have a small flashback. How do we
go ahead?
How do we feel when Lennon Honor said that he doesn't identify as black? It might sound weird, but do we take him seriously, or did he say that in a context?
Hell no. He's a fucking coon. Get the fuck out of here. Like,
no, I'm not defending him. I'm saying beyond.
Oh no. Like, I was just answering your question. Hell no, we don't take him seriously. He's a fucking, like, nah. Like, especially with that stupid ass Black Lives Matter video, which, by the way, he deleted or privated, and he was saying all that crazy ass shit. I'm like, man, like that pretty much had me thinking about a whole bunch of other questions. And when he was talking about saying that he's gonna teach his sons that race don't exist, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who does that? I was like, bro, like,
crazy, man.
What do you mean about Black Lives Matter? Like, as the group?
Well, hold on. So as far as that Lennon Honor video, you're not familiar when he made that video talking about Black lives don't matter to most black people video?
I'm guessing, did that involve a lot of like hip hop and the violent, some of the violent themes of hip hop that we don't really stand against, some Larry Elder type talk? Is that what you're talking about?
Nah. So basically, just to go over it real quickly, Lennon made a video. He came outside and he was basically ranting and raving that black people don't care about, or most black people don't care about black lives, talking about killing and talking about how people being ignorant and saying that his next door neighbors were making all this noise and why he had to move. I mean, it was quite frankly one of the stupidest videos I've ever fucking seen. And it's like I said, the video is no longer up, but the Shock You Mentally by Speak Easy, he has some clips of that. And again, it was just some coon ass shit that he was saying. And for this dude to on top of that talk about saying, oh, I don't believe in race, I don't believe in this. And it's just like, dude, your audience is mostly black. And you know what? That kind of goes to what I was talking about with Anton Daniels last night, when Anton Daniels want to talk about, oh, this isn't a black space, when he was on the Lapev Network. And I remember, I think it was the KA show, she was asking him, well, who are you catering to and who watches you? And it's like, bro, if your audience is black and if most of your viewers supporting you are black, then quite frankly, you're in a black space. I mean, like, for instance, this is a black space that I'm in. Now I'm in another space that's not a black space. Now there may be some black people in there, but trust me, that is not a black space. So it's like, it's just stupid. It was just dumb all around seeing that stupid shit.
Yes. Some characteristics of people make people want to distance themselves, whether it's over criticism of the black race, but for Lenin, it might be that he's awkward or something of that sort, right?
He's a square. That's what it is. He grew up getting picked on and all that back in the day. That's probably what it is. And he had that fucking rage and took it out on black folks. I mean, again, like I pretty much don't have proof of that, but that's what I would assume. Because again, like that stupid shit he said, it was just dumb.
Yeah, I've seen some stronger videos. He can like maybe reach 1/4 of, let's say, Thomas Sowell or Larry Elder, because I mean they'll make some point. You might not like everything that they say, but you know, black culture does have much to work on. But that just delves into the whole black versus white argument. That's pretty controversial.
Mm-hmm.
But he's had stronger videos, is what I'm saying. Slightly.
But I mean, I think that kind of goes back to, who was it that said that? I think it was like living life to the fullest, basically claiming black basically when it's convenient, you know. But that's that type of shit I really can't stand. When, you know, when you want to claim you black 1 minute, but then you don't want to go all the way with it. I just see just me sitting back and I was like, it's clown shit.
Have you seen the BLM sisters have that dinner and congratulate themselves over the summer of the killing of black boys or men? It was horrible. And then BLM actually donates a lot to trans organizations. So, I mean, we can't be critical of like there's BLM and then there's BLM the organization, and then again there's the regional and lower levels. Sometimes when people are costing BLM, no one knows what you're talking about, whether it's just the words Black Lives Matter or the state levels that do something, or then the regional, federal, whatever level that perpetrated that scam and donates to a lot of trans organizations. So that causes a lot of argument what BLM means on what level Black Lives Matter.
Man, like, as far as the term Black Lives Matter, I mean, if you want to talk about just the saying, yes, Black lives do matter, but we talking about the group is a fucking sham, a fucking scam. It's nothing but bullshit. I pretty much been saying that for years.
I'm saying there's multiple levels to the group. There's the local levels that are getting stuff done, and then they said that they're hamstrung and not given the proper funding by the higher level. So I'm saying there's multiple levels in addition to the wording.
Look, man, now as far as local, that's pretty much the first time I ever heard that. That's like there's local BLM groups. You know, I mean, I pretty much put them all the same. But if there are local people that's doing something different and it's actually for black folks, that's one thing. But when it comes to the fucking whole thing, it's a fucking sham, and it's fucking bullshit.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, you must not have heard that like I said, the lower ones complained in the national article how they weren't getting the money that they needed to help their community. So,
that's a shame.
But as far as yourself, Mikey, there was a question I wanted to ask you again before we went on that tangent. So I pretty much asked you about why you don't mind just letting the people know, hey, look, my mom's this or my dad's that. Now, as far as if somebody would ask you, what do you identify as? What would your answer be?
I'm black. You know.
And that kind of goes back to what I've been saying, like with a lot of biracial people, like they don't have no issue identifying themselves as black. Now with you, Mikey, with you as a person that's mixed with blackness and Puerto Rican, could you explain to the people why you would identify yourself as black, even though you're mixed with black and Puerto Rican?
I mean, you know, they're both kind of like the same thing. Because when you go to, I guess, Puerto Rico, Dominican, or what, you know what I mean? You see none but straight black or brown skin, you know what I mean? Or even darker, you know? So, I mean, I consider myself black, you know, both, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, that's kind of interesting that you brought that up, because there was some stuff going on with certain people that says, hey, I'm not black, I'm Puerto Rican. Like, I don't know if you know the Vlad TV video with Godfrey, and he was making that, you know, he was kind of joking around about Puerto Ricans or Dominicans saying, I'm not black, nunca, you know, and all that other stuff. So that's pretty interesting that you would say that from that perspective, though. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because not even, right? Perfect example. My man Fab, I thought he was straight black, but he's half and half. He's half black and half Dominican. I didn't know that until, you know, later. You know what I mean? You can see that. You can see he looks both. You know what I mean? For real on that.
So just to answer YM real quick, you know, like it goes back to what I said again. I'm not trying to go too deep into all that, because again, I like to just keep it simple. So if we want to talk Puerto Rican, you know, like we can say, okay, like maybe you're half black, half Hispanic, or where the case is, you know, like again, y'all, I'm just trying to keep it very, very simple. But again, you know, if anybody wants to come up and kind of delve deeper into it from their perspective, they can. But again, I'm just trying to keep it very, very simple for everybody. So
no facts. Even right, even when you go to Honduran, you see none but blacks, Hispanics. You know, you go to Guatemala and you see Hispanics. You know what I mean? So, you know, and they black, they more black than us. You know what I mean?
You got any thoughts, Dr. Rogue? I know I interrupted you earlier. What was you about to say?
No problem. I mentioned earlier that we were brainwashed America in terms of identifying with a Crayola color, but the rest of the world, a lot of the else of the world just doesn't share that view. I mean, someone in the middle of Africa is not going to identify as black. It makes no sense. It's like someone. It was kind of different, but let's say someone identified as human, you know, from planet Earth. I mean, there's many subcategories behind that. So someone from somewhere else, another planet, might say, oh, you know, humans, but there's multiple tribes, there's multiple countries that you're from, but we only see black. So sometimes we see it as antagonistic or denying blackness. Blackness is kind of like the inches system in America. The rest of the world uses tribe or nation or the metric system. They don't use our inches, our feet. So it's two different systems. They don't have to clash, but usually they do, unfortunately.
So we got a question from I Am Human First, Mikey. He wants to know, can you ask Mikey, is his mother hair nappy or partially silky, etc.?
Oh, it was silky. You know what I mean? That's how I get to perm my hair one day. It was kind of silky, but you know, I looked at like James Brown a little bit in that mug shot. you know, but her hair was silky all day, every day. You know, that's why I got my little hair, you know, expired. You know, I said, freaking, I might as well perm my hair. Shit, my mom's got her shit like that. Might as well do the same thing too. You know what I mean?
So, you know, like, go ahead.
Nah, but my pop's hair, his hair was, you know, afro all day, every day. That joint was crazy.
So like I did want to ask I am human first, and I'm not sure if I asked the question, but if I did, forgive me. Now as far as the question, when is it okay for non-blacks according to your criteria on who's considered a non-black or a black? When is it okay for those people to be in black spaces?
Let me get off for a second. I gotta do something. Let me get off for a second. All right.
What you think, Dr. Roque?
When is it okay for non-black, like define spaces, for example, or just a rough definition?
So like I guess the simplest way to explain it is probably if there's a majority community of black folks, basically, and then it can be surrounded from black topics, black subjects, black debates and whatnot. When is it okay to include non-blacks in those types of spaces?
I guess it depends on. It might sound cliche in a way to shorten the argument, but it depends on like it depends on the black people and the topic. I don't know. I'm just having trouble with that. I guess it depends on the topics. Depends on the black people. Trying to veer off being generic.
So as far as topics go, and you would say it depends on the topics, like what would certain examples of those topics would be?
Things that are going on in the black community. For example, if it's some older people, maybe younger people can be open-minded. A lot of people who look at the hoteps online tend to be older, the ones who follow them videos. So,
oh, you're Borgin, Dr. Roque. Yeah, you're Borgin, Dr. Roque. You're Borgin. You're Borgin real bad. No, like a little bit.
Like, what do you hear? Just static or?
Oh, like I hear you good now.
Okay, you hear me good now.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying. Can we have a multitude of topics? Like just
peep this.
Random.
Hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. So like you was saying a multitude of topics. Like, what do you mean?
Just some randomization, like from different directions, rather than just pigeonhole. I don't know if that's the purpose of the live stream or the first part of it. I don't think it's in the thumbnail, but yeah, just randomization of some stuff that we talked last night or what I talked.
We're pretty much trying to break it down. I mean, because again, like I asked the question, when is okay for non-blacks to be in black spaces? Now you asked me what do I mean by spaces, and I was talking about, okay, basically a community of the majority of black folks or all black folks. And then what you said was, well, it depends on the topics. Then I asked was, okay, let's break that down. What type of topics are you considering where it may be okay for non-blacks to be in the space, and certain topics where non-blacks can't be in the space? So then I was asking, what type of topics would that be as examples?
I'm more of a situational person, and I haven't been around too many like white people. And since I'm a very situational based person, I really don't know much how to answer it. Really, I'm gonna just be honest. That's why I was open for randomization.
When are we talking about the ills of our community? That might not be a good topic for non-blacks. Yes, I definitely agree with that one. I am human first. Yes, now that's a good example. Definitely, when we talk about the ills of our community, and I see a non-black person coming in there putting in their 2 cents, I'm like, look, motherfucker, like you better chill that shit out. Like we don't.
How about this one? Right? Okay, I look black in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the train, I'm high as hell, trying to get a little breeze, trying to get a little sleep, before I go to the crib. So
All right, take care, y'all.
So a lot
right.
of Hispanics people, they'll think different. Oh, he's black, whatever, right? Come to find out, I'm over here eavesdropping on every Hispanic person talking shit about me when I'm sleeping on the train. So I told the lady, "What did you say? Say it again." She was like, "Oh, I didn't know you understand Spanish." Yeah, like say it again. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." I said, "Okay, cool. This is real shit, yo. This, you know what I mean? Because like I said, in some people's eyes, I look black. You know what I mean? But I'm Puerto Rican too. So certain Hispanics people, they think otherwise. You know what I mean? Come to find out, oh, this nigga knows some Spanish, and that shit fucks with a lot of people's heads. On God, for real. You know what I
Right, I feel
mean?
you.
Cause my man, he was like, yo, don't talk that Spanish shit. Cause my man, he's half Hispanic. And niggas was like, oh, my fault, my fault. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I know Spanish 100%. Like any other language, I know it. I understand it. You know what I mean? 100. Oh, some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
That's also a good point too. I am human first. When talking about black hair, that's a touchy subject to have non-black people commenting on it. Now again, now that kind of goes back to what Carrie was saying earlier. Now again, Carrie has a different viewpoint on what's considered non-black. Now I have a different viewpoint as well, but that's definitely a touchy subject, and that really depends on what you view a person that's black and non-black. But definitely, that's another situation.
No, facts. And what's funny too, like I said, a lot of people will not think you this until you start speaking Spanish to them. Start telling them some shit, and sometimes that shit fucks with their mind. Like, oh shit, I didn't know this guy knows some shit. you know, for real on that. I'm telling you, man. People thought. I'm telling you, man. People thought I was just fully black until I was in that train. Just trying to go home. So they was talking shit, and I told that lady in Spanish, "Yo, say it again." She said, "Oh no. I'm sorry.
This
I'm
shit
sorry."
crazy. But I pretty much thought you was full black until you was trolling the shit out of Al talking in Spanish. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? You was being all fluent with it. I was like, yo, like you mixed with something. But we do got Pillsbury. He said we should let everyone in the space. We need to build with the good people from all races so we can get away from our people who have the crab in the barrel mentality. I don't agree with that at all, Pillsbury. I think we need to keep it as low as possible because we do have some of these agents, quote unquote, like these people that don't have no type of interest in black folks. They just want to just divide. However, though, there can be some genuine ones, but pretty much that is a very, very low percentage. Very low, if you ask me. So it's like I said, like I always try to tread lightly when non-blacks come into black spaces here. But that's just my opinion. There was another comment I wanted to highlight.
And this thing too, I'm learning how to talk Chinese.
Chinese, why?
It's a couple of reasons. Just in case you go to the Chinese food store, you try and get something. You need to tell them some shit, cause they be saying some wild shit.
This nigga.
If you don't really understand what they saying.
This nigga right here. But this comment right here about living life to the fullest, and again, Mikey, I'm glad you're on the panel because I did want to talk about this. So she says people said a binary nigga, please, you're black. Now that kind of brings me up to this Stop Asian Hate thing that Binary did on D Darrell a while back. Now, regardless if it was because of trolling, where the case is, there was a point where people were saying, why would you do that when you know damn well a lot of Asian folks won't claim you like that? Now, I'm not around binary like that as far as his personal life go. Maybe he does have a bunch of Asian people that hang around him. I don't know. But for you, Mikey, would you say that maybe Puerto Rican people may claim you, or is it more so of like, yeah, nah, or what would be your answer to that when it comes to you? Do they claim you, or you're not sure? You think so? Mikey, you there? I think the ancestors got him again. Or Verla called him. Oh, Mikey's on mute. Mikey, you on mute if you don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the chat. They have a walk fine line talking about the ills of the community. I feel like they should never talk about it. Nothing they can contribute. Yep, exactly, YM. That's one of the big things. The things right there. All right, so we got Stargate in the building. What's going on?
Hey, what inspired you for tonight's title?
You know what? Like I think what had me wanting to think about it.
Yeah, my fault. I had to go get a dub. Dub of that sour. Woo.
But I thought it was a nice topic to talk about, but it really came from what Anton Daniels said. Like I said, on that Lapev Network
thing.
Who?
Who?
Anton Daniels.
Oh wait, okay. So on Money, pocket watching with JT.
Yeah, like, but it pretty much came from the Lapev Network, and he would say a bunch of dumb shit and all that other stuff. And there was a controversial thing on the Lapev Network having like this non-black woman appear on there, and the people wasn't really feeling it. I think she was getting a little bit too deep into some of the topics regarding black folks and whatnot, and Anton made them coon-ass statements though. So yeah, so
did she say whether she was black or white or biracial or another race?
She definitely said she ain't black.
She definitely said that she wasn't black. Okay. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do remember, because I actually thought that maybe, and I don't know if anybody remember, but when me and Carrie had a conversation about whether Stephanie should be here or Al or Corey's wife. I don't know if you remember that conversation or us talking about it or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you do or kind of sort of.
It's kind of coming back to my mind, but I can't.
Yeah,
but fully.
I just remember. Yeah, just telling Carrie that if we had before she came, before she, wanted to, be more involved with the sector, she actually, asked us, did we think it was okay for them to be here or something to that effect? And I was basically telling Carrie that, listen, even though it's mostly black people in this sector, we shouldn't run people off if from other people from other races want to come over here and hang out. I mean, I think Corey's wife by default, she's going to end up hanging around black people, and Corey going to end up hanging around white people just because of their interracial relationship. And when we were talking about Steph and Al, because a lot of people don't believe that Al is biracial, but I also understand. I told people that culturally he does not feel black, but he always stated that he's biracial, and then I think he had actually said something that recently that biracial people should stick to saying that they're biracial and should not conform to one race or another. And then Steph has never, did anything or said anything out of pocket with, and she actually went on her way to make sure she did not offend anybody in this sector. So nobody would tolerate a black woman bringing her white husband. I just don't think that's true. I just think maybe Carrie just has this. it's like she's stereotyping, her own people, or the people who she feels that are, like black, like her. I just don't think that, it's fair to, to just tell people that they don't belong here, and tell us that we should not allow people of other races in this sector. So,
I think for me, when it comes down to it, like when it comes to a black space and you are not considered black, depending again on whatever criteria you may have, I think for me, I think you just can't just allow them in, but you may have to like vet them a little bit and kind of see how they are. Because again, I'm pretty much not the person that likes to keep comparing race to other things, but let's
right,
just look
right.
at gender, for instance. Now, there are certain things that women may talk about or have a girls' night out or have girl talk. Now, with me as a man, I pretty much know that I don't fit over there and that it's not right for me to be there. But like if you start dating, just talking with your other girlfriends, and I come in there, I mean, there's a good chance y'all gonna look at me crazy. Like, and I guess it kind of goes to like, let's say for instance, with gay folks, gay folks may talk about certain issues, and me as a straight man, I go up in there and, like, so if you kind of relate that back to race, especially with blacks, I do think it needs to be a vetting process. And I do think that it's important for people that's not in a certain community to kind of watch how they roll out here and not get too comfortable. You get what I'm saying? Because again, when it comes to the gender thing, with the word bitch, it's going to be way different if I call you a bitch compared to a woman may call you a bitch. Because if a woman calls you a bitch, it may be some of endearment or it may be something disrespectful. But if I just say bitch in any type of way, you may take that shit as like disrespect, period. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, any one of y'all be like, bitch, please. I wouldn't get offended because I guess I know y'all. But if anybody, I guess on the outside, here's the thing also, though. I don't get offended by people I don't know in their comments towards me. But what I do get offended is people who befriend me or pretend to be nice to me. Let's say pretend like we're cool, but then they all of a sudden they have problems with. That's what my issue is. So like if you never, don't have, if you have your doubts about me and you just choose not to, fuck with me, that's a whole nother situation. But we've had issues where like people that look like us, let's just say black people, we in this sector have spazzed out on other people, and there's a lot of situations where it was worse than racism to me, because racist people can say things to you and I'm not affected by that. And I guess because I don't get a lot of it, so I never had to process it. But I have had issues with black people just treating you like shit for no fucking reason. So my whole thing is, there's a lot of people, I guess, that would just naturally, like if you go to a space and everybody's black and you don't vet people because they're black. I mean, I think I've seen you move like listen, I don't trust everybody. And it wasn't just because you was like, well, there's a lot of black people here, so I'm just gonna vet everybody because you're black. But then to do that to a person of another race, it's just you basically not trusting a people, period, until you get to know them. Or a lot of people are that way. Or in cases such as myself, I just trust people and I wait for them to give me a reason not to trust. So a lot of us just move differently in this sector. So, but I think different people, I know Darrell has spoken out against, just making sure that he gets to know certain people before, he gets, trust them off the bat. But then he does speak openly about I don't know, like the race issue, and he has a very, I guess, hard opinion about wanting to create Black spaces and build with Black people purposely, but he's not going to exclude white people, if he has to do business with them. But then there's some people, that basically, feel that you shouldn't deal with white people, period. I mean, we've heard that. But speaking from my personal experience with Lennon, it wasn't that Lennon was saying that he wasn't Black because he was ashamed of being Black. It was just that he'd associate himself with I know he said something about Cape Verdean and people from the islands and stuff like that. But I do remember when he did that Black Lives, people don't care about Black lives, but we have seen Black people mistreat each other in this sector. So sometimes that statement is true. Oh Lord, could you hear me when I was saying that when Lennon had did that Black people don't care about Black people video?
The Wi-Fi over here for some reason was slipping up, so I was kind of
going in and out. I saw you going in and out, but I didn't know if you was putting yourself backstage or not. So I'm just going to briefly just repeat. I remember when Black. My fault. No, it's okay. So I'm just going to briefly say I remember when Lennon did the video like Black people don't care about Black lives don't care about Black people. What, Black lives don't matter to Black people? I remember when he did that live. Mm-hmm. But according to my experiences in this sector, sometimes it's true. Mm-hmm. But then I think it was the generalization that Lennon did that in the spirit of. I remember talking to him. I said, "Look, here we go again, Lennon," because we had a disagreement about the Trayvon Martin situation. And right. He had got upset, and he actually apologized for getting upset because he said a lot of his just experiences, he felt like caught up with him because he felt like a lot of people in his family, because somebody in his family had died from gang violence, and he was telling everybody in the family that they should talk to him and try to uplift him and tell him to get out the street life. And when he died, he actually said that his anger towards statements about Black people, not giving, like his generalizations of Black people not caring about Black people because of his experiences. And I actually said that, well, because of your experiences, you shouldn't generalize. And we pieced it up because we did have like this kind of argument, and he huffed and puffed. And like I said, here we go with the grifting situation. So I think it's just this ongoing thing where basically you have to. Oh, is my Wi-Fi acting up? Am I breaking up?
I can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay.
I got that food going on. What you saying, Mike? Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Stargate.
So basically, yeah. So like sometimes Black people, we treat each other worse than white people do. Racist white people do. But then white people have their own issues too because of the proximity in the community that they live in.
What's going on, Pillsbury?
What's going on, LV? What's cracking, man? I see you got the building going on, man. I support it. I salute it. What's going on, Stargate? What's going on, Mikey?
Hey, Pillsbury.
I'm cooling, man. But what I want to say is, LV, I respect your opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. But I believe that Black people need to build with the good people of all different races. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of Black people that got the crab in the barrel. As a matter of fact, LV, are you Pan-African?
No, but like as far as certain practices, like I practice a few of them, but I can't really consider myself Pan-African. I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not Pan-African either. So, but because it's a lot of, it's bad and it's good in all races. It's bad and it's good in all races. But until Black people be smart enough to want to be pro-black themselves, I'm not going to be the sacrifice. I'm going to be honest with you. So I think that black people need to build with the good people from all different. I'd rather build with Muslims before I build with a lot of, because if you look at a lot of black organizations that tried to overcome, it's a lot of black people that brought them down. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Black Panthers, and the Black Panthers was way back in like what, the 60s. If you fast forward all the way to Nipsey Hussle, he got killed by his own people, and he was trying to build for his people in the. And Nipsey Hussle was not even a Black American. You know what I'm saying? He come from another spot. So when I look at everything, and I look at all the history that's in between, it's, I would rather build with good people from different races than build with 60% bad people, 40% good people from just my race alone. Because those statistics don't really add up.
So you would build with white people and all races, right? That's my stance too. And so,
but
people of other races just come over here. I'm sorry, LV, go ahead.
But we gotta go back to the original question, and it's about having non-black and black bases. Now, if you're talking about an overall scope, then yeah, sure. If we're talking about building with genuine non-blacks, then yeah. If we're talking about an overall scope, I mean, like, I pretty much don't see how you can't do that. But when we're talking about in a black space, should they be allowed? And if they are allowed, when is it okay? Like, is it automatically allowed no matter what, or is there certain topics that they're not allowed to participate in? Like,
I don't have a requirement of people of any race talking about anything on my platform. Now, on other platforms, there might be people that feel differently than I do. So
if it turns out, if you do a stream, you may be talking about black women, right? And for whatever reason, a random white man or a random white woman just gives their opinion on black women, you mean to tell me that at no point in time you won't stop them and just be like, hey, look, bro, like, I don't feel comfortable with you talking about this topic. Like, you wouldn't feel that way at all.
Now, but see, you would have to know whether they're doing it intentionally to be racist or they're doing it intentionally to be part of a conversation. Because listen, there's some fucked up white chicks that are out here roaming the streets. And if I want to talk about fucked up white chicks roaming the streets, I'm going to talk about it. So if they want to talk about fucked up black women, I'm not going to have any problem with saying it, because I've had a lot of negative experience with black women. And so if a white woman has had a negative experience with a black woman, and because there are a lot of black women that attacks white women because of their race, because a lot of people would call it reverse racism, but then you have a lot of people that say there is no such thing as reverse racism because racism is about power. But I do think that you can hate somebody because of their race, because of your trauma, because of the trauma that you're dealing with, because of what racism has done psychologically to black people. And then also there is like this thing where this revenge, I would say that there's a such thing as revenge racism, where you hate white people because of what their ancestors have done, and you don't judge them on how they treat you.
But you got some black people act like they're white too, or some fuck shit.
And then you got white people who act like they black. So
that is true too. That is true. And you be like, yo, my man.
I've seen both. Yeah.
Like, yo, my man, I know you black, son. So stop trying to act like you white, my guy.
Stargate. So like, are you more of a person where, I guess, that would tolerate ignorance from non-blacks, or
it's not that I would tolerate. Listen, how many times have I been done wrong by black people in the sector, and I forgave them with just an apology? So if I can forgive my own people for treating me like shit, I can forgive people for treating me like shit too. Because why would black people just start treating me like shit for no reason when I've done nothing to them? So I'm forgiving of all people. But that's just me, because I know there are some people that are racially, like, they'll tolerate a lot more from black people than they would do from people outside the race. And I actually think that, because what is that type of mentality where you feel like it's okay to be forgiving of black people who's treated you like shit, not only because of not because of your color, but you got white people that'll treat you like shit, and it's not a racial thing. They're just a shitty ass human beings.
I
And
feel
a
like
lot of people can't differentiate shitty ass be treatment from shitty ass human beings, and then people just being like, there are people that are white, there are white people that'll go out their way to be racist, and then there are black people that'll go out their way to hate white people in a revenge because of racism, because of what white people did to us, in the past, or currently doing in this moment.
Or is it because because sometimes some parents beat that in them, like you have to be like this, and all that
right.
fuck shit.
Some parents condition their children to be racist. Some parents condition their children to be shitty ass human beings. Some people condition their children to be revenge, to be racist for revenge reasons. So
true.
Yeah.
So like I did want to pose that same question to Pillsbury. Now, when in your opinion is it okay for non-blacks to be in black spaces?
When it is okay? Well, you know what? That is a real good question. And well, you see, I'm not like I say, I'm not Pan-African. So I look at the world today, and I look at, blacks, we don't really own anything too much in the world, probably around 1%. So I look at black people, it's better to build with other races instead of just staying in this crab in a bucket mentality. As far as a black space, you would really have to define that, because is this even a black space? I don't believe that this sector is a black space, bro.
I just think we just happen to accumulate because of of Umar and the topic between Umar and Lenin. We're here because of Umar and Lenin. We're here.
Like real talk, like my kids, I try to tell them, like, don't be this, because now you in the world of, there's different kinds of people, different kind of races. You know what I mean? So be aware, and make sure you love everybody. Make sure you treat everybody, as they treat you good. Because we living in the world of, there's all types of flavors. You could say, no matter what it is.
Like as far as a black space, and I explained this earlier, basically to me, a black space can be simple as just a community of mostly black people. And then if you want to go a little bit further down, we got to look at the certain conversations that we talk about here. If you look at this panel now, all for black people, you look in this chat, mostly black folks. The type of topics that we talk about, from race, Umar Johnson, and Umar's Pan-African Lenin, he's black even though he don't believe in race, and it's just one thing after another. So if you look at the overall scope of this sector, this is considered a black space. Now, in the other space that I'm in the pro wrestling sector, that is definitely not a black space. I see, I interact with a whole bunch of white folks. Majority of it is white, so I can't consider that a black space. Now, I wouldn't consider that a white space either. It's kind of mixed with all different types of backgrounds, but that's definitely not a black space. But this is definitely a black space.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. And I like that answer right there. So
Right.
To that, I want to say that when I look at where I grew up at, it was a lot of different neighborhoods who maybe it had one white family in the neighborhood, but they never excluded them out of anything, and everything just went straight well. I believe what we have wrong is our culture. We look at this rap music and all this other BS, and we want to be like what's really not good for us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, when you look at other races, they will have cultures where they, I look at certain Asian cultures, and they may force their children to grow up and be a certain thing or whatever, or be a certain, to work a certain job in the community or whatever. And some people may look at that as a bad thing. Some people may look at that as a good thing. But the thing is that I feel like that we have to upgrade our culture so we can do better as a people. But as far as just us doing it only by ourselves, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we need some help. So we have to be able to communicate and be around other people, to be able to weed the bad ones out and talk to the good ones, to be able to we may be able to need a couple of those people to help us get to a higher level. And that's what I believe.
Now, I'll pretty much follow this up, and this is to you, Pillsbury, and to you, Stargate, because it seems like you guys have similar viewpoints. Now, the way y'all are pretty much open to non-blacks being in black spaces, however you want to define it, do you think those non-blacks would reciprocate that for y'all?
So my thing is, so if you treat me shitty as a black, based purely on the fact that I'm black, then you know what, I know how to handle you, right? So just like I give everybody an opportunity, like in like my own people, I just trust people, and I wait to them to give me a reason for me not to fuck with them anymore. I treat everybody that way. So if a white person treats me shit, like I've had that experience. I thought I was cool with this white dude at work. He actually used that, like my trust in him, to garner a position, like a lead therapist position, and ended up trying to get me to, like, I think he was trying to get me to be like, act out of this anger that he stereotyped like black people. Like, so if you say something racist, and when I called him out on it, he expected me to hit him. And I say, yo, listen, I'm not, so I said, so you think black people just automatically violent when you say something shitty? And I said, listen, and so he had apologized, but then he got more and more racist. And I said, until I told him, I said, listen, I can't fuck with you anymore. So, and when I chose to do that, there were other things he actually did. And it was weird, because if I just say, listen, I'm just not gonna fuck with you no more because you're just being like I said, I thought you were a cool white person, but you like to be. I said I thought you was just ignorant. I said, but no, you're racist on purpose. So I'm not gonna fuck with you anymore. And he actually went as far as to try. No, he actually succeeded trying to turn the owners against me, and they ended up firing me. And even though I won my case, it wasn't a wrongful termination case, but they were basically had that I'm just gonna end it. I'm gonna end it right there. So there you go.
All right, so we'll have Pillsbury answer that, and after that we'll get the money to burn.
Okay, I'm gonna use as my real life as example. I got a lot of mixed people in my family, so one of my sisters, she has a daughter that is mixed. I have multiple cousins that have sons and daughters that are mixed by either a white man or a white woman. And in my real life, being around them, even my older brother, all of his kids are by a white woman. And so in my real life, being around them, I have never experienced
You kind of got some static going on.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Let me put my earphones on. Give me just 1 second.
All right. You can go ahead, Pillsbury. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, yeah. In my real life, I've never experienced any type of funny stuff out of them. But at the same time, I haven't really been around their family like for long periods of time with them. But for the times that I have been around them, that I've never experienced that. And to be honest with you, the only time that I was ever taken on I had my sister baby daddy, he took a lot of us on shopping sprees because he was a millionaire dealing with real estate. So he and him and his daughter, he even stayed with us for a period of time when he came out, left Chicago. I've never experienced that, but that's in my personal life. Other people have different stories from their personal life, but this is from the people that I from different races that I look at as kind of is like family. Now, if you talking about other people of other races in general, I mean, I've had problems where I had to put some people in their place, from saying certain things, co-workers or whatnot. But that's just like I've had worse happen from black people though. So, but that's
Facts.
anybody from any race, it's good and it's bad from all people. That's how I look at it.
Right. Damn. All right. So before I get to Money to Burn, hey, Money to Burn, there's a first time here. Just wanted to say hey first.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody on the panel.
Yo,
Pillsbury
yo.
Now,
Star, um,
now,
Salute.
hold on,
Mikey.
real
Yo,
quick.
yo.
Yes.
Now, like before I get to you, Money,
Okay.
obviously we got certain people on the panel, and I just want to make it clear, y'all, this is the Let's Build live stream. This isn't the Demon Infused live stream.
Oh
So if we
yeah,
can
no,
all be kind of yes, so can let's all be cordial for a little bit. So I just want to
F
let
you,
that disclaimer.
LV.
Huh?
no. LV only get buck on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Facts.
Sometimes
All right.
Saturdays. So today's
Facts.
Sunday. I'm chill, so I'm not gonna get buck. I just want to kind of add on to this conversation because I think it's one that I could relate to.
Mm-hmm. What's on your mind?
So okay, so just me growing up, both of my parents were dark skinned. They're from Texas. Okay. They're both, well, my grandmother was light skinned, but my grandfather was very dark. My dad is very dark, and my mom is very dark. And as you can see, I turned out pretty light. And
Facts.
I never really had a problem with I had all types of friends. I had Asians, I had Indians, I had Mexicans, I had African, I had all types of friends. And we never really looked at each other as a race. It was just like we're having fun. And I can see now that it's starting to, excuse me, it's starting to evolve into more of a segregate. They're over there, the blacks, the whites, the Mexicans, the Asians, they're over there. And I think it's really too bad. I think that there should be spaces where we all can kind of have a melting pot and just get to know each other. I don't think it's bad for us to integrate. I know sometimes I get
Facts.
mad and I be like, man, sometimes I just wish that black folks will go over here and white folks will go over there and Asians will go over there and do their thing. But then when I think about it, I don't have a problem with integrating.
Mm.
I get along with pretty much everybody. Um, I like to learn about new things, new cultures, and all of that. Just like when I was younger, like kindergarten, 4 or 5, you know how you would see men and they were like real funny and their wrist was kind of broke and they switched and stuff. I didn't know what gay was.
Mm.
What the hell is gay?
Mm.
Until I started getting older, it's like, okay, but by that time I was more accepting of gay people. I had friends that had two moms. I had friends that were had two dads. And my mom and dad never really sheltered me away from that type of stuff. They just sat me down and told me, this is what's happening, this what's going on. But they always let me be friends with them. I think as far as this space, I would not consider this Umar sector a black space. Yes, the subject of the matter is of a black man, but believe you me, he is getting donations from 8 to 80, blind, crippling, crazy. Okay, it don't matter. It don't matter what nationality. He's taking that cheese.
Fact.
And as long as a black person don't come in our space, trying to, or excuse me, a white person come in our space talking about cash me outside and this and that, and trying to act all black and making a fool of themselves, then I don't have a problem with them being here and co-mingling with us.
So as far as you saying that you don't consider this particular sector or space a black space, what would you consider to be a black space, or do you even think a black space even exists?
Okay, so just think about in your college years. You went to college, right? A lot of the people that are in our sector have went to college, and there were sororities and fraternities, right?
Right.
There were sorority and fraternities, and there would always be that one piece of salt in that equation, and he would be fitting right in. So no, I don't think that I think they should be able to go wherever they want to go, and we should be able to go wherever we want to be.
It's an interesting viewpoint. So with that being said, has there ever been a point? I guess I would say, has there ever been a point though, if a non-black, I guess, gets around other black folks, and they would, I don't know, have a different viewpoint or say something out of ignorance or something like that? Like, has there ever been a time where you may just say to yourself, okay, maybe we might need to vet some of these people before we have them in, or are you more of the viewpoint of just, hey, if you want to come in, just come in. We'll just open the door, be all comfortable, kick your feet up, where the case is.
Okay, well, we're definitely, as soon as most of the black people I know, when they come in the door, hey, this is my friend Joey, he's gonna come hang with us, and he got his hat to the side, he got his clothes sagging and shit. He's looking like a wigger. We're not fucking with wiggers. Wiggers are getting roasted.
Did you ever use that wigger term, LV? I use that. We used to use that wigger term when I was in high school.
Wiggers. Yeah.
I haven't heard that word in a long time though.
Yeah, like I haven't heard that since middle school.
A motherfucking wigger.
Wigger.
You could be a white person in a black person's space, but just be yourself. Don't try to act like Nene Leaks and Honey Child, because no, catch me outside and all that bullshit. Nobody's gonna want to be around you with that. If you're trying to hyper extend your blackness to fit in, we're gonna be able to tell that from the very beginning.
It's the same way, you know what? It's the same way as like let's say you're a person not in that gang world, but they still let you rock. They be like, nah, he good. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You know what I mean? He good with us. He about that life, but
Look at I Am Human First. He's never heard of that. I wanted to make sure everybody else.
You know what I mean?
Pillsbury, you heard of a wigger?
Yeah.
I heard of it.
That was using this tout
I got a question. I got a question for everybody on this panel. Who considers breaking the culture of silence black?
I do.
I
do too. But
I definitely think she's black.
But who don't consider her black?
Man, she is, freaking.
She black. She black.
Okay. So what makes a person white? And what makes what? Okay, you know what? This is what I want to say. No, this is what I want to say. Different. All colors come from the black woman, right?
Okay.
Facts. So it's just like y'all was talking about. Shout out to Mikey. Y'all was talking about Mikey. You said you from you have a Latin background, correct?
Yeah.
So Mikey has a Latin background. The question that I have is, why do black people love to put countries before the race or places before the
We
race?
were programmed that way socially. So
Facts.
it's a socio-economic programming. So I understand when I was trying, when people that was brown skin, because they would rather just say I have brown skin, but don't refer to my I guess my ethnicity. Like they say I'm not a black person because they said they identify by what country they come from.
Facts.
So that's why when Mikey's people from Puerto Rico. So, but then we are from, like, even though Mikey's people got dropped off at Puerto Rico, Make a Change people got dropped off at Trinidad.
Yeah.
Nappy Yankees people got dropped off at Jamaica. So but we all come from Africa. So we're all, so even though we say, oh, we're all black, but they still get offended because they were taught not to look at themselves as a black person. They were taught to look at what country they come from. So until we get that, that's a bridge that we have to build to be able to communicate with people that's from our same country, and not because, so I'm not down for the ADOS and the FBA and all of that. I'm not for separating, and I'm not for disassociating with people who did not wasn't as treat. I guess because what's the bottom line? We were all slaves. We were just in different parts of the country. We were in different countries. We were in the Americas. They were in the in the islands. So we were all treated like shit. So there's no reason for us to separate ourselves from each other just because they come from a different island. So if we all do reparations, if that ever happens, I'm optimistic. But if it doesn't, you have to, do what you got to do, and so just to put that out there. I do feel like people from the islands deserve reparations too, because they were enslaved just like we were here in the Americas. And I would fight for all people of color, that no matter you were dropped off in the Americas or the islands. So
you got a good answer right there.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Put it at that.
We need the builders to hit the panel tonight, man. This is a good bill right here. I like this right
here.
Yeah, man.
I mean, as long as we don't get into the whole light skin, dark skin thing, this is good.
Right.
Yeah.
Real talk. Keeping it plain, say all races don't come from the black woman. I respect that opinion. Keeping it plain, need to hit the link. And everybody need to share. I think everybody need to share their view on this topic because this is big, right?
I mean, I was actually taught that there were white teachers that said that we're all from Africa. So this was back in high school. But there are some white people and black people. No, listen, even in like dealing with the conscious.
Did they find the bones? They found the bones.
Right.
Lucy, I believe. I think their name was
right. So that basically, they were saying we were taught that because of the climate, people live in a colder climate. That's how I was taught, that everybody's from Africa. My white teachers were teaching me that they're from Africa too. We're all Africans. Because of white, let's quote unquote white people living in in colder climates, their skin, they genetically became that color because of the colder climate that they were living in, and their hair grew long and thin because they needed warmth, and their body had they had more hair and on their on their extremities because
to cover themselves up.
I was taught that, but then but then there's a lot of people that don't believe, they refuse that teaching, and there's a lot of people. There was a dude that who before the conscious community that said that there's a lot of races that are here because of the different planets, and this was like a York teaching. This was a York teaching that this dude who I came across before the conscious community in New York, saying that we a lot of the races that are here are because we're from different planets. So
Dr. Malachi Z. York, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah. And then I heard from the Muslims, the NOI, that white people were made on this island somewhere, and they're not genetically, they weren't born, they were made or something. They're not a human, they just part of a hue or something. It was all this kind of revenge racism talk that I like to call it. So they were grafted or something like that. So
it seems like to me, it's like really hard to believe what's the truth because there's so many versions of the Bible and the Quran and the hodgepodge of this, that, and the other. Then there's a nigga talk about I'm God, and one nigga talk about I'm God. No, I'm God. No, I'm God. It's like who the fuck do you believe? Like at this point,
the brothers that were saying that the black woman was God. I mean, you got so many people saying, the black woman is God. So, and then you have a lot of people saying there was brothers in this community that was saying, "No, the white man God because whoop the whoop and what that."
I gotta ask y'all a question. Where do y'all believe that white people come from? I got my own answer, but I want to hear y'all answer.
I actually believe what I was taught, but because I've been exposed to different thought processes, I mean, it's
hard to tell what's the truth.
It's hard to tell what the truth is. Exactly.
Nah, like my answer is
because we gotta also
we all the same thing.
Because before schools were integrated, they were passing out text and literature that was saying black people weren't intelligent at all. Right. And that in our IQ, it's not possible to teach us. And we were, because of just the way we look and based on our skin color and our whatever the attributes, we weren't smart. We're not, we weren't capable of learning. So I mean, you gotta think. I mean, there's a lot of false teachings out there. So
okay, Mikey and LV, what was y'all gonna say?
Yeah, like so as far as where white people come from, I really don't look at it like that, because I think overall we're all the same, and it's just a matter of just pigmentation and all that determines what race you're gonna be. So that's pretty much my short answer.
Why some people got bell pepper noses and some people don't?
I think pretty much that would come from genetics and whatnot. From all the way
why
back
people got slanted eyes and people got almond eyes?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna talk about that. This is the thing. A lot of times, black people, when they have slanted eyes, we want to sit back and say that that's an Asian thing, and we want to account that to the Asians who typically look at it as that's a black thing. That came from us.
The slanted eyes.
We have Africans with slanted eyes. We got black people that got blonde hair. We got black people that got blue eyes. What phenotype is really okay? I want to answer this question, but I kind of don't want. Well, I think white people are just came from an albino race. But that's my belief. That's my belief.
But
we all come from the black woman.
I've seen black albinos though.
That's facts. But you got to look at black Indian albinos and tell me what they look like with the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
But I actually think that's a genetic thing, because even when you look at albinos, every albino, no matter what race you come from, they have this eye thing where their eyes are constantly twitching, and it's something because they're missing a chromosome for pigmentation.
Isn't that albino though, Star? Isn't that albino?
Albino is missing pigmentation, but there are albinos from white people and albinos from black people, and there are albinos in Mexico. I don't know if there's Asian albinos though. I've never seen.
There's albinos everywhere.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's a
genetic mutation,
and they look different.
There's something that they're missing. But then you also got to look at people with Down syndrome. They're missing a chromosome or something to that effect. because that's why they all have that slanted eye, but then they also look the same, no matter what race they're, whether they have Down. But because I have seen Asians with Down syndrome, so or Mexican. I don't know. I haven't seen a Mexican Down syndrome, but I've seen a black one, white Down syndrome, Asian Down syndrome, but not Mexican Down syndrome. So, I mean, they all have the, they look alike and they have the same memory.
I'm gonna drop down.
All right, Mike.
Wait,
Right.
no,
Peace,
Mike, don't
Mike.
drop down on us. Come on.
I stay up.
Yeah, man. You
Mike,
the
listen,
true
Mike want to
mixed one
get
on the
heavy.
panel, man.
Mike want to get heavy into some other things. He can't do that.
He got
He said
about
she could
30
wait.
missed
She could
calls.
wait. She could wait. She could wait.
You got about 30 missed calls.
You know, Berta trying to get at
Right.
you right now, big dog. No, you the mixed one on the panel. We need you for this conversation, and you speak Spanish. You good for the conversation.
Verla drove. Mikey drove Verla off the island.
I think
He
that's
adjourned.
Oh
it's
Lord.
an
German
extra.
aboard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Speak. It's an extra chromosome. Okay, so speak could be right. So it's a extra chromosome, not missing chromosomes. Okay, thank you, speak. Okay.
Now I'm about to ask a very ignorant question, Stargate.
Okay, come on, let's do it.
A very ignorant question based on what was based on. Yeah, so the ignorant question I'm going to ask is, are you biracial?
No, I told y'all. And maybe you didn't hear the story. Now, both my parents are black. They're mostly black. My great grandfather is white, who raped my blue, black, purple African grandmother. Had children. Who was not. My grandmother doesn't talk about it. I don't know if they were like slaves too, but that we just didn't talk about that in my family. So my grandmother is half white. She's biracial. And my mom and her husband was African, Cherokee, and Irish. And so my mom is mostly black then, right? And then so she married a black dude, and now I'm mostly black with some Cherokee and Irish and European. I don't know what part of Europe, but I'm definitely mostly black, right? Now on my dad's side, my grandmother and my grandfather, they're both mostly black. My grandmother, I think my great grandmother on my grandmother's side, I think one of her parents was either white or maybe my great grandparents, one of their parents, they were white. But she doesn't like to talk about. She's not open about. She wasn't open to me about talking about, her family history. So I don't know a lot other than I just know my grandmother's mostly black and my grandfather is mostly black. So on my dad's side. So
right. Now the only reason why I asked this is because I kind of want to break down on the topic just a little bit, but kind of related to you. Now, like, has there been history or a lot of history, or maybe just a little bit of people saying that you're not black?
No, a lot of people, what they would do, they would say that as a grown up, they would ask me what my ethnicity is. Now, when I was when I was in middle school, there were a lot of, let's say there were dark-skinned dudes and females that were actually, I felt like because of colorism, they did not consider me dark-skinned enough to be black, and they actually mistreated me. So I got a lot of mistreatment from dark-skinned people in middle school. Now, when I got, and this is when actually, because it was a mostly my stepfather, when my mother had remarried we was in a magnet program where it was a mixture of like half black, half white. And we didn't have issues like where I guess students teased each other. My daughter went through the same magnet program, but she got teased as a dark skinned person um, from actually dark skinned dudes. And she never said how no she got treated differently from uh, females, but the dark skinned guys that were her same color, she got treated differently. But then when I would actually attribute it to like education, like a lack of education, because when my stepfather took us out of the magnet program and put because his kids wasn't did not go to the magnet program and we had to go to our all black neighborhood school, there was a lot of ignorance. And then so I also got a lot of people say, well, you talk like you white and you're not black. And so I got teased a lot. Now, when I got back in the magnet program back in my high school, I didn't have to deal with that again. So I had to just attributed colorism back in the day as just ignorance or, not knowing because of their socioeconomic status, they didn't know that black people could be smart because you had the hood and then you had the middle class neighborhoods that kind of
How old were you? How old were you
so
when
I
you
was
were going
like
through this?
12 between like 12, 13, 14.
Oh,
And
okay.
then so like when I got to high school, it was mostly white school and then like just a handful of blacks though. So but even with the blacks at the magnet program in the high school that I went to, it wasn't about we didn't tease each other because of our skin color. We actually like I got teased a lot because I was considered poor from a middle class neighborhood because you had a lot elite blacks at this high school and I was considered poor being in a middle class neighborhood. So I got teased a lot because they would call me poor. So it was never we never had an issue of colorism in my high school, but it was just basically, y'all poor, so you had
it was more elitism
it was
then.
elitism. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah.
So I do want to end off on just two more questions. Ovichi crazy.
That was funny though. That was funny.
But I do want to end off on just two more
Oh
questions.
man, I hope that was just her internet. Because listen, I actually enjoyed me and Money being able to. Oh, there she is.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, there you go,
sorry.
Money. I just wanted to say I appreciate interacting with you on a positive note. I just wanted to just let you know that.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have a lot of things in common that we could talk about, and I enjoyed this conversation as well.
I thank you. I enjoyed it as well, Money.
We're building, y'all. Anyway.
Hey, let's build. Let's build. Let's build.
But I do want to end off on two questions. Now pretty much all three of y'all gave y'all opinions on when it's okay and whatnot. So I do want to end off on this first question. I want everybody to answer this. What do y'all consider to be black? Like what type of requirements or conditions or what? Yeah. So like what would be considered a black person?
I got a good answer for that. I typed it in the chat. If she can't use your comb, you can't bring her home.
Oh shit.
That's the test right there.
Well, that's a good test. That is definitely a good test. All right, so let's go to either Mikey or Stargate. What's y'all qualifications or what do you consider to be black?
It's weird because it's like I think because like let's say to me everybody it's like I know Steph is white. Steph, she acts, she doesn't try to like I guess talk down to us. So and Al, he has a thing where he's smug, but I don't know if it's racially smug or biracially smugness, or is he just smug as a human being? Because he says great things and then sometimes he says dumb things, and I don't know. I'm trying to work that out. So it's like I actually felt like Muslim was culturally part of us, but I knew he wasn't black, but he felt, I don't know. Is it weird if I say it felt like he was black before I knew he was not black, because he's what, Palestinian? Am I correct in saying that? Or
I guess probably the best way to say that is that Muslims definitely invited to the cookout.
yeah, he's that invited to the cook. I said, I guess, yeah.
Muslims invited to the cookout.
Stephanie is invited.
Stephanie's invited.
Yeah,
Marie's invited.
Marie, yeah. Because
All
she
the,
definitely acts white. I don't feel like she acts black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like she's over the top. Her or Stephanie, they're not like,
right. They don't try to,
girl, what's up? You know
yeah,
how people,
they don't
when
like
they try to act black, they are over
black.
the top and shit.
Exactly. They definitely are white girls, but then they're welcome to the cookout. So it's weird.
But they better not bring no potato salads with no raisins in it.
Or apples. I've actually had potato
or
salads
carrots.
with apples. Okay, I was gonna say apples and carrots, huh, girl?
The LV, do you think okay, this is just a show, and I know TMK Media had done one a couple of months ago with a couple of different ladies that weren't in the sector. Do you think it would be beneficial, or do you think that it would cause a little bit too much strife to do a podcast on light skin, dark skin? What do you think? Would it create a great divide? Would a lot of women that came in as friends not be friends anymore? But I think that most of us are in our 40s. We're able to communicate how we feel and be able to come to a resolution about that. What do you think?
I think it really just depends on the environment. But if I was able to have a light skin, dark skin type of deal, like I would definitely try my best to kind of just hold things down, and whatnot. Kind of like, all right, guys, let's just have the conversation. But yeah, like I definitely, it definitely depends on who's moderating stuff. Not just letting.
Well, you would be moderating because it would be on your channel.
Oh yeah,
and you're a really good moderator. You're a really good moderator.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like as far as the light skin, dark skin, like I definitely wouldn't mind doing that. I definitely wouldn't.
And like pretty girl privilege and all that shit. Like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah, like I don't mind doing that. But let me.
What you think, Star? What you think? You think that would go over well, or you think it would start a war, or what do you think? What do you think?
About money. I would talk about anything money. So I'm down for it all.
Okay.
All right. I mean,
if these are interesting topics, I'll be willing to talk about it. Definitely. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't like I don't like people to get negative. Now, it might be uncomfortable at times, but that's what having conversations. We're never going to learn anything as human beings if we don't have these conversations. We're going to stay stuck. So we need to have these conversations.
Yeah. Because that's an old age, been going on forever. Light skin, dark skin, and all that shit, and pretty girl privilege and all that. And I think that we are in a tight knit group, close enough for us to have that conversation. And if we yell and if we scream and if we fight, I think we still can get our point across because we're all mature women, and I think we could do it.
But I'll definitely jot that.
Just put that in the air. Put that in the air.
Oh yeah, I will. Let me go ahead and go to Mikey. Mikey, what do you consider to be black? I think he's in the ether again.
Mikey consider his to be black his Swiss Miss cupcakes.
Oh, listen, I wanted to be okay. I had said all of that stuff about Muslim because let's go back to Deacon Young. We know he's black, but then there's this thing where Deacon Young, it's something because I remember teasing him saying I don't want him saying the N-word. Muslim, I would rather Muslim use the N-word than Dickie Young use the N-words. But Dickie Young has a there's an I don't know, there's like this energy. You know, Dickie Young can move in white spaces, I think, better than most of us in this sector. So does that make sense when I say that? Or he has crossover energy. What is that? Crossover? Is that what I'm?
Yeah, like, well, he could be white in white spaces and fit in, but even though he's black as fucking hair as nappy as a motherfucker,
exactly,
he could go to a black place and fit in, but then he also can go to a hood bar, order some cognac and some chicken wings and fit right on in.
And then or go to a country, he could go to an all-white country club and fit right in, and ain't nobody gonna say shit to Dickie Young.
Well,
do you? I don't know. Am I missing?
Do it.
Look, Triggs, I ain't calling Dickie Young an Oreo. I'm just saying he has.
That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm just saying Dickie Young has a energy. He has that crossover energy more than most black people in this sector. He is not a cornball, Vici. No, but I'm just saying, you know.
All right, so I'm about to end off on this last question, and I'll go to Money to Burner Stargate. I don't know where Mikey is, but so
eat his cinnamon toast crunch.
He had to concentrate on something. I'm telling y'all.
So we pretty much talked about what is black. So what do y'all consider to be a non-black?
A non-black. Any person that's not a Caucasian.
Because I mean, Steph is a non-black, and Marie is a non-black, but they're, like I said, they're cool people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to offend nobody. Because I feel like.
What do you consider being white? Donald Trump. Shit.
Donald Trump is white, right? But see, so you have white people, and then you have white people who just happen to be white. Does that make sense? I don't know.
A little bit.
I say Donald Trump.
Do y'all remember that special? So Donald Trump is that white person. He's white, but he's not cool. He wouldn't get along with people in other spaces of other races. Now, I mean, let's talk about the current president, Biden. Now, Biden grew up around black people, but you could tell that Biden has
elitism. Respectfully, Biden doesn't know who or where the fuck he is.
No, but he has this elitism. No, listen. He has this elitism about his whiteness. But he knows how to down home himself if he had, does that make sense?
He can conform. He
knows how to conform, but he's definitely he has an elitism about himself. Right. So you have some white people that would never down home themselves. And which is a great thing, but because it's actually, you don't want people trying to, down home themselves to, to get along. You want people to be who they are, but you want them to feel comfortable around you, without having to change up. But then you have white people who are not aware of their racism. But then then you have white people that they want to do something about it. And then you have white people that are undercover on purpose and they use it as a social tactic.
Just to get in where they fit in.
Right. So, I mean, you have this, there's just the spectrum of being white.
Yeah, they're just trying to get in where you fit in.
Right.
LV, I think you should think about that topic with a couple of different content creators and see who might want to pick it up and then try to see how we can do it in a classy way where it's not gonna upset anybody, and just us in our own little space are able to come up with some type of resolution, because we know we're not going to be able to heal the whole world, but what can we do within our own little space as far as colorism is concerned?
Right. I got you. Yeah, like I would definitely like jot that down and talk with a few people and trying to let that happen. But ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude another Built live stream. No, we are not going 7 hours tonight. We're not going 7 hours. Because I got to go get some money tomorrow. But it's all
Get
good.
that money, honey.
Yeah, my dog's loud as hell. Can y'all hear my dogs?
I hear him. What's the dog's
something.
name? Or you don't want to dox your dog? I understand.
Don't dox your dog. They even dox my dog. Dox my dog.
This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it in the damn house. They loud as hell. But anyways, anybody got any final words before I wrap it up?
Hey, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was a good show. I'm so glad you're back, LV. The voice of reason, a person that can control his panel. You seem to be the most neutral person in the sector. You only raise your voice when you have to, and you can control us and keep us in line. You and Spottum are the drill. You and Spottum are the drill sergeants.
Yeah, I understand people that want to dox. Listen, you dox your pets. You cannot be doxing people's pets. I am human first, because I mean that opens the whole.
This was fun, and it did bring on a couple of new ideas, so we can kind of keep this going and make it a consistent thing.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, that's real. That's real. That's real.
Yeah, and me and Star were cool.
Right.
I don't know what happened back then. I'm not worried about it. We
cool. Yeah, we
now,
can. Hey, water under the bridge. Water
under the bridge.
Yeah.
All right. So that concludes another great live stream. I appreciate everybody for coming in, ladies. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming in and holding it down. Mikey, as always, even though we had a hard time trying to figure out where you come from.
Mikey is eating his Count Chocula. He's eating his Count Chocula.
Mikey had to go concentrate on something.
His Count Chocula.
Yep. But yeah, guys, I will definitely be back next weekend for some live streams, or one or maybe two. And like I said at the very beginning, I'm definitely going ahead and start planning for the whole entire whole content creation thing update. So I want to get that cracking probably next week. So I just got to prepare for all that. So y'all may get 3 live streams a week at some point. Wowzers. I wasn't expecting that, but hey, got to get the people what they want. Got to get the people what they want.
You got this, LV. You got this.
Oh yeah. Yep. Like I've been through before. Damn, what them dogs shut the hell up? Damn. Starting to act like Carrie Anne.
It's starting at Carrie Anne, dog.
Yep. Like I already. I got not one but 2. I kept.
They didn't start acting up until the night, though.
Yeah, like
this is the first time they ever. Let's not say act up. They're being dogs, but usually, I didn't even know that you had dogs. So.
Shoot! Like we just went and got dogs, and it was my lady idea to get 2 of them. I was like,
listen, you keep that lady happy. You notice, listen. Hey, LV, listen, you keep your lady happy, she keep you happy. That's all I got to say.
Like, you ain't got to tell me twice.
See,
I'm
gentlemen,
just going to leave it at that.
See, listen, that's another show. If you be nice to your woman, being nice to your woman is not simping. You actually get a lot in return. LV, we gotta tell the people. LV, tell the people that they don't believe it.
Like it go a little bit deeper than that, Stargate.
All right.
You sent for your man, you might get a meal. Shit. You might get a meal. You might get some meatloaf and some cabbage. Be nice. Shit.
Amazon said, "Can you tell us the breed, or is that doxing too? Are you comfortable? Or are you not comfortable yet?"
Hell no, we got way too many weirdos here. Hell no, we got.
Amazon, listen, I want to know too, Amazon Week, but I understand his position, yo.
Hell no, like y'all, you got way too many weirdos in here. But
yeah,
about to go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Money to burn.
All
Stargate.
right, thanks, LV. Yeah, see you soon, Stargate.
All right,
and
all right,
I will talk to y'all soon.
All right, y'all have a great night.
All right, peace out.
All right. All right, guys. So that ends another one there. Go ahead, talk to y'all later. Another one. We building. Sunday, the holy days for building. Don't know what's going to happen next week, but talk to you guys later. Peace out.